Hello everyone. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to our Celebrating Volunteers event. The clue is in the title. We're here to celebrate all the fantastic work that you, our volunteers, do on behalf of IOSH. You are the beating heart of the institution. You devote your time to support IOSH, our members and the profession we all represent. As we're here through this special celebration, volunteering activity takes many different forms. But whatever it is you do, each and every minute that you dedicate makes a real and positive difference. 2020 was, of course, a year in which the world changed. As the COVID-19 virus spread, it united us all against one common enemy. As the situation with the pandemic changed, so did the working arrangements for businesses all over the world. And for many, myself included, home became the new office. For me, the morning commute was replaced with walking downstairs. I found myself logging onto the computer before I'd even put the kettle on. Obviously, it was the safe and sensible thing to do to protect ourselves. And I'm just delighted that IOSH staff were able to transition to remote working so seamlessly because of the investment we'd made in our technology. Our members have been challenged to make sure that these risks presented by new working arrangements are managed effectively. And we knew we had to be right behind our members to provide the right level of support and guidance they needed. It was fantastic to see in parallel how you, our volunteers, stepped up during this time. It is amazing this year to see how much progress we've made on our strategy Work 2022. With everything else that's happened around us, it would have been understandable if it had taken a back seat, but no. As volunteers, you continue to put the strategy right at the forefront of your activities, and we've made tremendous progress this year, enhancing our reputation and gaining even greater profile as a result of your hard work. That's something you can be exceptionally proud of. So, whether it's through your involvement in group and branch activities, conducting peer review interviews, mentoring other IOSH professionals, being involved in the Future Leaders community, our Board of Trustees, Council, or as a member of the presidential team, you've all made a significant and much valued contribution. Whatever the level or type of support you've given, I'd really like to thank you for your valuable work as a volunteer, which I know you do alongside other professional and personal commitments. This shows true dedication to your professional body, so thank you. Of course, we would love to have been able to thank you in person, but sadly this still isn't possible. But that wasn't going to stop us coming together virtually to look back, reflect, and, whilst acknowledging what a tough year it's been for many, properly celebrate your achievements. In a moment, I'll hand over to our President, Jimmy Quinn. He will look back at some of those achievements and also reflect on his own volunteering story, before handing over to Vanessa Harwood-Witcher, our Director of Professional Services, to bring the event to a close. But before I do this, I'd like to say a few words about one particular volunteer. Someone not visible to all of you, but who has been instrumental in the transformation of IOSH over the last 5 years, and who this year has gone above and beyond to support myself, the senior leadership team and others. Since becoming chair of our Board of Trustees in 2016, Bill Gunion has helped to guide the institution from a very turbulent and challenging position when he came into the role to one now of real strength. He has led our board for 5 years, launching our ambitious and first truly global strategy in 2017, which has gone from strength to strength. Work 2022 has without doubt enhanced the standing of the IOSH profession and seen us collaborate with the elite global IOSH organisations to expand our influence around the world. He supported my plans to transform the business and see us get back to financial stability. He improved the governance of the institution, not an easy or popular task, but one that was really vitally important for our future success. And when COVID-19 hit last year, despite having other plans, he kindly offered to extend his time as chair to help steer us through. It's at times of crisis that you need clear, decisive and wise leadership, and he has provided us with that in abundance. From my point of view, the support he's given me as Chief Executive has been invaluable. Always accessible, measured, wise, and totally supportive. I could not have asked for more or achieved the transformation of the institution we've seen without his leadership or support. Bill, I know you're at the event, and I want you to know that your tenure as chair will go down in IOSH history. It's been incredibly successful, and we all owe you a great deal for the time, effort, and courageous leadership you've given to the institution. You leave the organisation in a much healthier state than it was when you arrived, and you set it up for further success as you hand over to Peter Bonfield. So, on behalf of everyone at IOSH, our volunteers, the wider membership, our staff, and myself absolutely, I'd like to thank you and wish you every happiness in the future. That just leaves me to hand over to our president, Jimmy Quinn. Jimmy, over to you.
Thanks, Bev. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you all today to celebrate your contributions to IOSH through your time, effort, and thought you give in your voluntary roles. Volunteering gives you a sense of worth. It comes in many shapes and sizes. It can come as part of mentoring. It can come as part of being a committee member, as part of supporting another team. It's about giving something back. I started volunteering years ago when I was in the Boys Brigade. I didn't volunteer again until my adulthood. I volunteered in charity shops. I volunteered my time to help pensioners when I was in the army. And I used to volunteer and help those who were less fortunate. In the Sergeant's Mess, I got a black bin, put a sign on it, food for local pensioners, and they filled it up 10 bins in a week. I've done volunteering pretty much throughout my adult life. Since joining IOSH, I volunteered for branches in 3 different countries, for council, for committees, and for the presidential team. Being the president of IOSH is the epitome of volunteering. As a president, it's important to have been involved in all those ways of volunteering. One of the reasons, or one of the main reasons, why I volunteered in IOSH, as well as giving something back to the profession, was so I could understand how IOSH worked. I think probably that the volunteering I'm most proud of was the mentoring I did when I was part of the UE branch. On my day off, people would travel 6 or 7 hours on a bus in places like, or from places like Ras Al Khaimah in the north of the Emirate to come and spend a few hours with me on a Saturday doing CPD. Before we started doing Zoom, and where the internet wasn't particularly good, we would go into a cafe and just sit there and order a coffee and do CPD. They'd come and meet me, and we'd sit and just have a nice, fulfilling time talking about how we volunteered and trying to change the lives of health and safety officers in the Emirate. Volunteering taught me lots and lots and lots. It taught me how to be a civilian when I left the army. It taught me how to integrate with a different family, a professional occupational health safety professionals. It taught me that just because you ask or tell someone to jump, they're not necessarily going to do it. I think it helped me to be more rounded as a practitioner and to have an understanding of civilian life and of the different language you need to use. It seems to me it's about how you interact with people. For anyone who's never done any volunteering before, I'd really encourage them to give it a go. I know that you, fellow IOSH volunteers, think this too and are excellent exemplars of this. Thank you for all the volunteering that you do for IOSH. I'd like to finish by saying just a few words about our outgoing chair of the Board of Trustees, Bill Gunion, who I know is joining us as a delegate today, ahead of his final day in the role tomorrow. If has already said a few words I'd like to add to. I want to thank you very much, Bill, for your work as chair. It's a voluntary role, and you've volunteered your time over the last 5 years with such diligence. Over this time, IOSH has seen a massive transition, and we're doing things a lot differently. Now, from me as president, on behalf of all the past presidents and members of council and the membership, thank you very much for your time, and to be successful in everything you do going forward. As president of IOSH, one of my duties is to hand out President's Distinguished Service Awards, and it's my absolute pleasure today to be able to announce that you have been awarded a PDSA. While it isn't possible to physically present this award, I wanted to let everyone know that you have been given this richly deserved award in recognition of your contribution to IOSH and the profession. Once again, thank you for all you have done, sir. I am now going to hand over to several IOSH colleagues, starting with Maria O'Malley, Head of Membership Engagement and Development.
you very much, Jimmy. There are so many different ways in which members generously commit their time and expertise by volunteering for IOSH, and for that we are hugely grateful. Nearly 1,700 of our 47,000 members are active in some way, supporting IOSH and their fellow members. So let's first take a look at our Board of Trustees. The board is appointed by Council and responsible both for setting IOSH's strategy and making sure it gets delivered. It ensures IOSH meets our charitable objects and is responsible for the governance and management of IOSH through the Chief Executive and Senior Leadership Team. To give you an idea on the type of activities Board does, over 2020, it held a number of special meetings focused on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's approved reviews and regulation changes for items such as the Code of Conduct and the Membership Grades Review. Then there's our presidential team, the officers of our institution. All are nominated by Council and elected at the annual general meeting. The presidential team are not only ambassadors for IOSH, but also the OSH profession, and help us form new collaborative partnerships, continuing to support the delivery of Work 2022. We also have your elected council, made up of 36 members who champion and represent the view of members to the Board of Trustees. This year, a new council has been elected and has already been key to our membership grades review, taking part in consultation focus groups and approving critical recommendations. On member progression, the volunteers that support members in their development are peer reviewers and mentors. Peer reviewers play a vital role in helping you as members progress to chartered membership, and they ensure the high standards of the profession are being maintained. Last year, we saw a significant number of members progress from student membership to full membership, and many members advancing onwards to chartered membership, and some moving forward to chartered fellows from chartered membership too, and those volunteers play a key role within that. Mentoring is another way in which members can volunteer for us. Our new mentoring platform has enabled mentors to match up with members looking for advice and guidance on a whole range of topics. Since the platform launched, 957 mentor-mentee relationships have been formed, becoming part of our thriving mentoring community. There's also our vibrant network of branches and groups. IOSH has 41 branches, 8 districts and 7 sections spread across the globe. We'll look at branches a bit closer later, but a key feature recently has been the groundbreaking work of our volunteers in the West Africa division, who've been building an important network in this dynamic new region for IOSH. And last but not least, we also have our Future Leaders Community Steering Group. This enthusiastic group of members is a relatively recent addition to our volunteers, but already it's provided fantastic support to new and aspiring professionals. The steering group has organised networking opportunities and conferences and has hosted Future Leaders focused webinars for our next generation of members. And the group has also recently led a takeover edition of the IOSH magazine. Duncan Spencer, our Head of Advisor Practice, will now celebrate the volunteers who support our branch and group committees and will look at their achievements in 2020. So, over to you, Duncan.
Thank you, Maria. Branches have taken on the challenge posed by COVID and the need to find new ways of working. They have successfully reached out to members through virtual meetings and events, providing pastoral care and support through hardship and supporting members with CPD and IPD clinics. Working virtually has done a great deal to make IOSH more inclusive. Previously, many members in large regions like Scotland found it difficult to attend branch meetings. Now attendance figures have increased significantly. Many branches have seen members attend for the first time and from all over the world, demonstrating the relevance of the topics to all members wherever they may be. This is a credit to the hard work of committees in putting together their programmes. Let's hear next from Chris Nagg from our Manchester branch, followed by Anthony Intencio, one of our regional managers, and Andy McNair, chair of the North East Scotland branch.
The Manchester and North West Districts branch moved from face-to-face meetings to delivering virtual meetings. We were delighted to see the number of members attending actually increase. In addition to this, we saw members from all around the globe joining our meetings. While the branch may have lost a little in terms of local member engagement because of COVID, we have gained significantly in national and in some cases global engagement, with our online events attracting IOSH members from across the world. The shift to online delivery has been a challenge, but it is definitely influencing our thinking on future activity and member engagement.
Members have always struggled to attend meetings in Scotland. It's a big country with journeys to and from meetings often taking hours. The use of virtual meetings has made it much easier for members to attend meetings, and we've even been able to welcome new volunteers onto committees where distance would have otherwise been a barrier.
Due to the ever-changing global pandemic both now and in 2020, I was asked to reflect on how our branch has adapted to still maintain the best possible service to all our members. During 2020, our branch hosted an unprecedented number of events, 24 in total, 5 events prior to the lockdown in March, and 19 in the online virtual world. We tried to keep things fresh and interesting and adopted a variety of different methods to keep our events relevant yet interesting for all our members. These have included panel discussions from some of the industry's leading experts and professionals to some of the best keynote speakers sharing heartfelt personal stories from some of the world's worst natural disasters. Our events have covered a wide range of topics which have included dealing with the impacts of COVID-19, legal updates, process safety, behavioural change, presidential team talks, future leaders steering group, and also collaboration events with IOSH Scotland, IOSH London Met Branch, IOSH Merseyside Branch, and the IOSH Construction Group. So thank you for everybody who participated. It's been a challenging yet interesting year, and we couldn't have managed this without the great support of all our committee members, in particular Kat Horsell, Rachel Hendren, our regional manager Anthony Atencio, and of course all the technical support from IOSH. We're certainly looking forward to supporting all our members into 2021 and continuing to deliver you some great events.
Groups have been active producing webinars and discussion panels on a wide range of subjects, from driving risk to machinery risk in the farmyard. They have invited speakers to join them virtually from all over the world. As branch and group committee members, you have shared your passion to make the world of work safer and healthier. You've helped to attract new members to reach new people in new and inclusive ways. Your devotion has been shown by the way you've helped members to continue learning and absorb new developments, in the way you promoted relevant and valuable content, and in the way you've reinforced opportunities to continue professional development, enabling our members to improve technically, managerially, and as leaders. You have been sensitive to what our members need, guided by their different career stages and levels of membership. Let me hand back to Anthony.
Thank you, Duncan. Throughout the year, you have continued to make valuable contributions to IOSH's strategic plan, reinforcing the key messages of Work 2022 and supporting our efforts to achieve it. Whether you've done this in your locality or in your industry, you and your fellow volunteers on branch and sector group committees have supported projects, large and small, strategic and operational. You've done this through your individual and collective actions and words. As well as wanting to participate in and champion IOSH campaigns and projects, you volunteers have got behind important initiatives like the Membership Grades Review, a complex set of proposals to further develop our membership so it can face the future with renewed confidence. Groups and branches have come together to generate and debate on key issues. Events covered waste management on construction sites, controlling infection risk in hospitals, presentations on silica and silicosis, tips on remote working and maintaining well-being in the pandemic, including PTSD for healthcare workers. Unsurprisingly, COVID has been a hot topic for branches and groups alike. Events have covered the trauma of dealing with COVID patients, delivering a COVID-secure business, and the merits of applying different controls. Your experience, knowledge, connections, and joint initiatives have also supported our relationship with non-OSH bodies, including commercial organizations and even governments. IOSH has brought the fruits of your work to the attention of leading bodies around the world, such as the World Health Organization and the International Social Security Association. Your expertise has added weight and conviction to our collaborations with stakeholders at all levels and given IOSH the credibility and authority needed to partner these global bodies on the world stage. I will now hand over to Laurence Dufour, our Global Networks Manager.
Thank you, Anthony. It has without doubt been a hugely demanding year. Yet, in the face of crisis and challenge, when people have looked to our profession for answers, your leadership skills have come to the fore. Your work has guided members on how to manage risk, how to set up safe systems of work to control infection transmission, and you have led by example. Through your command of health and safety principles, processes and techniques, you have protected workers both in the workplace and when working from home, making workmates more confident and, yes, probably saved lives too. Through all these examples and others we haven't had time to mention, our volunteers have continued to raise the profile of IOSH. You have inspired others to find out more about our profession and to join our ranks. The increase in the number of younger members has been especially exciting, due in large part to the development of our Future Leaders program, which seeks to foster our profession's next generation of leaders. Others have benefited from your generosity of spirit and time given as mentors, passing on your accumulated knowledge and experience. As IOSH volunteers, you should know that people from both inside and outside the profession look up to you. They are inspired by your demeanor, your strength of character, and your clarity of thinking. It is personal attributes like these that make you such positive ambassadors and role models for IOSH, and which convince people to see IOSH as an organization that's worth supporting. So, I'd like to summarize by saying thank you. As a volunteer, whether you on a branch or sector group committee, as a member of a peer review panel, as a council member, member of the IOSH presidential team, as a mentor or member of our Future Leaders steering group. Thank you for your commitment, professionalism and resilience. We're tremendously grateful for what you've done and hopefully will continue to do for IOSH, its reach and its reputation. But more than this, we are proud of you as people, proud of the qualities you continue to show in supporting your fellow members during this critical period through your friendship, your empathy, wisdom, and good humor. Now I'll hand back to Jimmy.
Thank you, Duncan, Maria, Anthony and Laurence. I hope you will agree what we've achieved during 2020, despite all the difficulties, has been nothing short of astonishing. You all know how very proud I am of IOSH, and this pride extends to being so very proud of you, our volunteers. I have already started, but the presidential team and I hope to visit all groups and branches during this year. We look forward to meeting you and then giving you our personal thanks. So thank you all for everything you have done in 2020, and I look forward to the great achievements we will make together in 2021 and beyond. I will now hand you over to Vanessa Harwood-Witcher, Director of Professional Services, who will close this very special event. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'd like to add my thanks to all of the IOSH volunteers for helping us to achieve so much during 2020. We've said a lot today about the exceptional challenges we've been working through, but it's been your enthusiasm and engagement that has helped us all carry through. Our members have benefited from this hugely. Frankly, we just couldn't have done it without you. The experiences of 2020 have shown that the world is changing and we have to adapt as we move forward. Whilst we really enjoy all getting together for meetings in person, the use of virtual tools has become an established way of communicating and operating. They help us to reach all members across the globe and help IOSH to meet its aspiration to become a much more inclusive and accessible organisation. We must continue to deliver a virtual offering, and when the pandemic subsides, blend that with the return to face-to-face events at a suitable time in the future. To remain relevant, IOSH continues to need the input of volunteers. The information and intelligence that you raise with us influences our decisions about how to deliver our Work 2022 strategy. Your work helps us to enhance professional knowledge and standing. It helps us to influence global organisations, governments and businesses, and it makes us an organisation that others desire to collaborate with, which extends our reach yet further. This is something we wish to continue to explore in 2021, and we really look forward to hearing about more of your ideas on this theme. For the moment, I would like to thank you again for your hard work in promoting and supporting IOSH. Thank you for giving up your valuable time for the benefit of your fellow members and the development of the profession. Let's look forward together to another successful year. Thanks for listening and farewell.